What's good, everyone, and welcome back to another reaction video. I know, Saturday again, and I don't have a FNAF Ultimate Timeline one, but I can understand why it's being delayed. I mean, again, after the point of Afton's death, things just get a little crazy, and plus you have to consider every single fact from the books and stuff, so it can make it complicated, just really complicated. So, really don't blame it. Anyway, besides that, today we are acting to Game Theory Don't Let Them Out Roblox Doors. I think you already know about doors. I think I explained it before. But to go back again into the explanation, just in case you're new and you never heard of Roblox, just to be safe. And if you want to experience yourself, go ahead and do that right now. Pause the video and come back to it later. But if you don't and you want an explanation, Roblox Doors is a game where you go through 1 to 100. You go through multiple doors. From 1 to 100, you try to avoid all these entities. And you basically survive. That's the bluntest way of saying it, and without going into great detail about it. But that is what Roblox Doors is. Just get to start from door 1, get to 100, try to survive. That's it. Don't let the enemies get you, because they can really trick you up and all that. So, just to clarify it, and that's why I'm saying it twice. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button down below. Hit the subscribe button to support the channel, support the content provided, and so on and so forth. Hit the notification button, be notified immediately when a new video comes out. The link to this video will be down in the description below, so give Game Theory some love and support for the video they made. And going back into the subscribe and notification button, know when you're subscribed when the red subscribe button turns gray and the notification button is lit up. Ooh, that sounded more reasonable in my head, but that was sounding dumb. But yeah, just ignore that. Just click the subscribe button because it's very simple. You don't really need to do anything else. Just hit the red subscribe button. That's it. Other than that, if you have any videos you want me to react to, leave it down in the comment section below, and I'll react to it as soon as possible. Other than that, let's start this video, shall we?
Oh, I need to get back into cardio. Whew. Hey, door 100, let's go! Who are you?
My name's Jeff.
You're friendly? Oh, good. I have been lost in here for so long. It's so great to see a friendly face. Tentacle, I suppose. Oh, come on. You just want money? Look, man, I gotta go. Oh, I'm regretting all my past decisions. No! Hello, Internet. Welcome to Game Theory, where today there's even more lore indoors. Gotta love those triple rhymes. Today we're revisiting the world of Roblox.
I can get it.
That totally pulled a Scott Cawthon on us by releasing their new Hotel Plus update a few hours after our last theory on them went live. Gotta love getting
Wait, serious?
and validating our theories mere minutes after upload. Though in this case, I'll actually let it slide since the GT Live couch is a painting that you find inside the game. It's awesome. It's also something we were made aware of many times over on the Game Theorist subreddit. Speaking of, if
That's really cool.
Making me aware of very obvious Easter eggs, hop on over there and help me push this community to 800K. You guys are the best. Seriously, I'm giving you a hard time, but it's fun. I'm glad that you're all excited.
I didn't even know they updated. Huh. Maybe I'll do a video on doors in the future. Yeah, leave it down in the comment section below if you want to see that. Just in case, you know. get that sound wrong.
And while I
That's why I
don't
did it a
think
second
it's
time.
validating our theories, that's actually not true in the slightest. You see, with this new update came even more hidden secrets and bits of lore to chew on. Some of it was small stuff like piles of rotting flesh spread around door 100 where we encounter the figure, providing additional evidence that the creature is probably a homunculus made from flesh and bone like we talked about in our previous episode. But then there were
Yes,
some
yes,
big
like obvious.
more monsters, more dialogue, and literally 1,000 more rooms to explore as we try to make our way out of
Are
this
you
haunted hotel.
serious?
So unpack those bags, dudes. We're checking in for another night stay of Roblox door lore. Let's start with one of the new areas added to the game, Door 52. Once you escape the figure lurking around the library in Door 50, you're greeted by a safe haven filled with 3 new faces, if you can call them faces. First off is Jeff, the black tentacled shop owner with his tip jar trying to raise money for college. Fill up the jar and suddenly he has enough. Kind of makes you wonder how much these gold coins are actually worth. Some tells me that'll wind up as a YouTube short in a week or two. The other entities
Maybe.
we see are Bob, a skeleton that doesn't say a whole lot, and this guy right here, a little red goblin named, creatively enough, El Goblino. This guy tells us a lot. Literally, he has a ton of
The
dialogue.
goblin?
The first thing to notice is his constant use of the word dude, which isn't a translation error. Instead, it's a reference to the streamer XQC, who not only says dude a lot, but is also known to occasionally go goblin mode during his streams. The creator of El Goblino has already confirmed all of this on Twitter. But that's not everything that's interesting about this guy. You see, El Goblino is Spanish for the goblin. Whoa, I'm really blowing minds here. And his dialogue mixes in a lot of different Spanish words. Hombre, nunca más, mi amor, which stood out to me as an important detail because, well, why would a Spanish goblin of all things be appearing inside of this haunted hotel? So I did some digging and I found some surprising connections. In Spanish, El Goblino is a very literal translation, but a more colloquial term for goblin is duende. While the word literally translates to elf, it's also used to describe creatures from folklore that are similar to dwarves, gnomes, and yes, goblins. Now, the stories of duende vary a lot in different parts of the Spanish-speaking world, but based on the furniture that we see in the hotel, which seems to be from 1940s America, I decided to take a look at the folk tales from our Spanish-speaking neighbor to the south, Mexico. And get this, in Mexican folklore, duende are gnome-like creatures that live inside the walls of homes, which is a perfect match for our friend Goblino. If you speak to him enough times, he'll give you this line, quote, "Sometimes I like to knock on the walls, scare the pants off the humans. So funny, dude," which is referencing the scratching and knocking ambient sounds that we hear throughout our playthrough. It's El Goblino in the walls, purposely trying to scare us, just like the duende of folklore. It might also explain the total destruction
That's interesting.
throughout the hotel. Take a look at the claw marks that we see on the walls. It's very clearly 3 claws with no thumbs. That can't be Rush, Eyes, Ambush, or any of the other creatures with no arms. It also eliminates Seek, who has rounded hands. But look at El Goblino's design, and what do we see? 3 distinct claws with 0 thumbs. And wouldn't you know it, but that's another trait that we see of the duende in folklore. And all of this information helps us to start piecing together how Goblino wound up in the hotel. You see, the most common origin of the duende in Mexican folklore was when a child died before they were baptized, becoming these morally ambiguous beings that caused mischief. Believe it or not, this is actually one of the reasons why baptizing infants is such common practice nowadays in Catholicism. Anyway, in our previous theory, we talked about how
Really?
full of beds, the infirmary likely means that Doors Hotel was converted into
I just learned something more about my religion today. Well, my ancestry, to be honest, but I don't know much about my Latino his mythology. Mythology. You know what? Just you know what I'm saying? Mythology and all that. The supernatural part of my Latino heritage. I don't know anything about those types of things. It's just kind of sad in my opinion. I always wanted to, but never really had the time to go over it. So this is a bit interesting to know all these things.
Hospital during World War II. During the war, the country needed more places to care for wounded soldiers, and so vacant hotels became easy makeshift hospitals. But soldiers weren't the only ones being treated at the time there. During the 1940s, there was a huge boom in immigration at the American government's request. With the war effort in full swing, many farmers were getting enlisted into the military, thereby leaving the U.S. struggling with major agricultural labor shortages. As a result, the government introduced the Bracero program, an effort to integrate Mexicans to the U.S. in order to keep things running. But this also meant that men, women, and most importantly, their children were moved to the U.S. lives and thereby put into harm's way. And that, I suspect, is the sad origin of El Goblino. He's a child who died during this wartime effort. He immigrated to the US, was injured, treated in a makeshift hotel hospital, but ultimately passed on before being baptized, thereby leaving him to live on roaming the walls. His story may also give us a hint as to the hotel's location, as there was a higher number of Mexican Americans in states like California, Arizona, and Texas at the time due to the shared border. But duendes weren't just mischief makers, they were also known to guide the lost, something that El Goblino is more than happy to do. He makes a special point to call out Door 60. Quote, "Oi, stay far away from Door 60, dude. Freaky stuff." Those of you who've played through the new update will know that Room 60 is the newest and arguably biggest feature of the Hotel Plus update. In Room 60, you can make your way to a skeleton door that requires a special key as well as 2 additional lockpicks. But give it a
Really?
moment and you see something quite different. Wait, is that a new entity? We call that one subscribe. Quick, use your crucifix on it to survive the attack. Is it gone? Oh, good job, guys. And don't worry about the cross. It wasn't going to be helpful from here on out anyway. Because we're not dealing with doors anymore. We're dealing with rooms. Yeah, the naming conventions for these Roblox games aren't super exciting. Behind the secret
Yeah, I can agree with that.
with an A in front. These are actually a recreation of another Roblox game, the one that actually inspired the creation of doors in the first place, Rooms, created by Nico Rocks 5555.
Nico
In this
Rocks?
area, you travel through what appears to be an office building
Hmm.
with lockers, desks, and corporate mandated succulents. And unlike doors, where you just stop at door 100, instead your goal here is to reach room 1000. That should be no problem, right? You just run a bit longer. Wrong. You see, there are 3 brand new entities that you have to deal with in these rooms.
Bull.
Doing it with 0 help. The candle and crucifix are no longer working, and even our spiritual buddy guiding light isn't here. Instead, when we die, we're given another kind of death screen, a yellow screen with a new soundtrack that gives us the name Curious Light. And Curious Light is less than helpful.
I'm not too sure on what I should call it. Well, it usually attacks around room A60, so you could just call it A60 or A120 again? This shouldn't be hard to figure out either.
Look, I just spent an hour trying to get here. The last thing I need is your sass. Anyway, if you do get to the end and
True.
reach room A1000,
Honestly, will
voice, you end up in a
piss me off.
void full of doors floating through space. You can
What?
the final door and return to Doors, the game, basically right where you left off. What this tells me is that even though doors and rooms are connected to these secret doors, they don't strictly exist within the same reality. I suspect that those doors that we see floating around lead to other realities that we've yet to explore. And we know all this thanks to one character, Bob. It would seem that maybe our silent skeleton friend in door 52 might be hiding a bit more than we expect. You see, if you decide to take your time while in rooms and look around, you can find a few desks that have name tags on them. Some are references to animators of doors, some to other Roblox creators, but one of them stands out thanks to its pure simplicity, Bob. Could this possibly be the same Bob that winds up as a skeleton in the hotel? I suspect yes. You see, on one of the desks in rooms, you can find this, a purple key card that you can't pick up or interact with. Making it even more suspicious is the fact that nowhere in this game do you need to use a key card. I mean, this immediately set off my theorist senses. This key card does, however, make an appearance somewhere else, in another Roblox game created by Nico Rocks 5555. A horror game called, get this, Bob is Missing, where you work
Bob is Missing.
scenes in order to rescue your friend Bob. If you manage to rescue him and get the game's good ending, you and Bob exit through a bright white tunnel, one very reminiscent of the glowing white doors that we see in room A1000's void. This, I think, has given us Bob's complete story. He's the common thread here. He's dimension hopping throughout these various connected worlds. He disappears and Bob is missing, he gets rescued, and he winds up leaving through a portal that spits him out in rooms. He brings along his purple key card, which is how it winds up on one of the desks. Now stuck in rooms with nowhere to go, he gets a job and works in the office for a bit. Eventually, he's forced to leave when the entities start showing up. Forced to escape through one of the many exit doors that spawn after A200, he winds up in the Doors Hotel, lost in its ever-changing hallways. Eventually, he comes across El Goblino, who, like any good duende, guides those who are lost. Tired of constantly getting lost and having to run away from monsters, Bob decides to stay in the safe room until his death, eventually decomposing into a silent pile of bones. Now, all of that might seem like a stretch. Bob is a
Wow. That's a bit morbid, but it sadly makes sense. Because technically, doesn't door 100 just take you into like the basement, which we're gonna have to deal with later?
very common name after all. That said, if you once again speak to Bob's friend El Goblino, he'll tell you this. Bob told me he saw one of those sparkly thingies, but it wasn't blue. Sparkles that aren't blue, huh? Who does that sound like? It's the entity that talks to us through the death screens in rooms. The yellow sparkle, Curious Light. Bob has to have been to the room.
The
It is the
a-hole.
only way that he could have met a differently colored sparkle. And while I was initially happy to end the episode there, having explained this dynamic duo of entities, one thing was still bugging me. Curious Light itself. What's its purpose? Guiding Light is obvious by comparison. It wanted to help us. It wants to defeat the demons that reside in the hotel. But Curious Light doesn't seem to care about us at all. In fact, it outright says,
I usually don't give out hints.
even though it clearly knows the mechanics that are killing us. So why would this entity be so unhelpful? This is especially confusing when you consider that it wants us to keep coming back, to keep going, saying things like,
I hope you don't mind trying again. It would be helpful.
and
Hurry back, we're not done yet.
why would he speak to us in such a careless tone, but then push us to keep trying? What are we not done doing? Just didn't seem to make sense until I remembered what was at the end. If we succeed, we enter the void with dozens of other doors, new worlds, and more importantly, a door back to our world full of demons and evil entities. I think Curious Light needs us to get to the end in order for it to access that room and all the other dimensions that it holds, including our own. Why? Well, we established last time that Guiding Light was an angel of some kind, helping out the player to defeat the demons that roam the hallways. So it would make sense then for Curious Light to also be an angelic figure. But these angels are clearly limited in what they can do. They can light the way, but they can't physically interact or interfere with the world. That's why Curious Light needs someone else to help it get to that exit, and in so doing, give it the freedom to go somewhere else. So that's what we explicitly know about it, but I suspect we might be able to take this one step further. This game has plenty of religious imagery. One does not
True.
crucifix demons, angels, homunculi, and unbaptized goblins to the game without giving some sort of religious undertone. Which then
That
question,
is definitely true.
Curious angels anywhere in the Bible? Yes. In fact, the last time an angel got a bit antsy, it didn't end too well for humans. According to the Bible, there was one angel that shone brighter than all the others, one that got bored of their current post and eventually challenged God. Their name was Lucifer.
Of course, we're going back to him. Every single freaking time. Honestly, I think that one of these weeks I'm just gonna end up talking about him the whole time. You might not think so, but I definitely think so.
Also known as the Morning Star. Could Curious Light actually be Satan in disguise? Could it be that by getting to room A1000 we've managed to release him into other dimensions? Maybe. Let's just say I wouldn't be surprised if we see Curious Light make an appearance in future updates of Doors, and when he does show up, I ain't gonna trust him. But hey, would have been way easier to
True.
seek and led to much less PTSD if I'd just been smart and saved up my gold coins to buy that stupid crucifix in Jeff's shop. Fortunately, thanks to today's sponsor, SoFi, you can not only save your money smartly, but also
Nope. 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 I am not taking anyone's sponsor.
for you theorists specifically. If you go down to the description and click my link, or just scan the QR code that you see on screen right now and open up a SoFi checking account, there is a chance for one lucky theorist to win $10,000, which, you know, is going to help a lot if you're trying to save up. So go ahead, make sure you use that QR code or my link, SoFi.com/GameTheory, that's SoFi.com/GameTheory, because that is the only way that SoFi is going to know that we sent you,
And,
into the prize pool. Good luck winning the $10,000, my friend.
The 11th.
See which one of you walks home with it. Thanks again to SoFi for sponsoring this video and for offering to change at least one theorist's life. And as always, my friends, remember, it's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.
Alright, I'll have to admit, this was a curious bit. So, kind of happy to learn more about the thoughts of religion. Never knew the thing about goblins being related to baptism. That's something to note of. But the Curious Light just sounds like a complete lazy guide. And I think that's me putting it nicely. Considering that it just sounds like this light just doesn't care. it honestly doesn't sound like it cares. It goes like, oh, you got here. Oh, alright, cool. Maybe you should try again. You got pretty far. Maybe you get farther. And it goes like, this thing is like, I don't know. Never really cared to look into it. Let's just call it this and that's the end of it. That just sounds like its attitude, right? Now, the skeleton Bob being from another world? Well, considering we're dealing with religious things, alternate reality hopping doesn't really seem far-fetched. Though I would need a bit more proof, but we'll see. We'll see where that goes. And this like being the Morning Star himself, gonna keep my eye on that and for future Doors videos, just in case it proves the whole Lucifer thing. But yeah, with that said, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button down below, hit the subscribe button to support the channel, support the content provided, and so on and so forth. With all this said, remember to give Game Theory for some love and support for the video they made. And tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. Other than that, hope you'll enjoy, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!